What's up, everybody? Your boy is back. I'm gonna do some RV transporting the next couple of weeks, and you guys aren't gonna want to miss it. We went all over the place. We did all kinds of stuff. We did 5 total trailers, so this is gonna be a long video, but I got a lot of content for you, and I may have a secret update at the very end of this video, so you want to stick around the entire time and check it out. Sunday, it's Mother's Day. I'm headed up to Goshen right now to pick up a couple of trailers. Got a busy week going on this week. Got a couple of things, a few irons in the fire, you know, that we're gonna try to handle while we're out. But I know a lot of you have been wondering, where the heck have I been? Because I was posting, you guys were loving the content, following along, seeing how much money we were making here, and then I kind of just disappeared. And where did I go? And I owe you guys an apology for that. But where have I been? So I went and got my CDL, so I currently have that. So now I can haul anything that they've got at Classic Transport. So they may give me a CDL load, they may give me a regular travel trailer, they may give me a fifth wheel, who knows, but I can take anything. And I am excited for that. I'm not really excited to haul the big park models and that kind of thing, so I think I'm just gonna avoid those. But, you know, big toy haulers and big fifth wheels, I'll pull those all day, but I really don't want to do any of the park model stuff. So, I mean, we'll see. Plus, I don't think the money's that much different for hauling park models. And, you know, those things are real big and real heavy, and I just don't know that I want to be doing park models. I may do a park model if they've got something that goes close or whatever. All right, so anyway, I went and got my CDL. I went to school, I did it, took my test, and I did it. Well, then I hung out at home, you know, did things at home, and then I got a job offer for doing some announcement work for a company called Live RC, and this company does RC car racing all over the country, all over the world. So they asked me if I would come and do some live commentary work for them at their races and events, and so I've been doing that. And I've been doing that like every other week or so. I'll go out, do one. So I did one out in Tennessee, did one out in Vegas, Myrtle Beach, and this week we are headed to Cincinnati, Ohio. So I figured that there is no better time to go pull some trailers than this week, because I can go to Goshen in Indiana, I can pick up a trailer. Well, first, when I get there, I have to go do whatever they need me to do, which means urinalysis. So I need to go do a urinalysis when I get there, and hopefully I'm gonna get there tomorrow. I can go do the urinalysis, and I can get my my 10-hour break in, and then I can hit the ground running. So, you know, I've got to get my hours right and all that stuff. But I have to go, you know, and then I also have to do some paperwork things that they need me to do there. Like I need to fill out my maintenance logs probably, and just some stuff that I have kind of neglected for the last, I don't know, couple of months. But the biggest thing is probably the urinalysis that I'm gonna have to go do. But once I get that done, my plan is to get there and just see what they got. I mean, these guys, Classic Transport, has been calling me at least 2 or 3 times a week for the past month, just asking if I could come back and help them out, because they said that they have an abundance of trailers on the lot that they've got to get moved out. And you know, what's really cool is that some of you, my followers, actually have gone to work at Classic Transport. So, I mean, that's super cool, and it's super rewarding for me that knowing that, you know, you guys have watched my content and I've helped you make your decision on whether or not you wanted to pursue the RV transport career or not. And, you know, I talked to a guy you know, maybe weekly or so, and he seems to be enjoying it, and he's out there doing big things. He had a breakdown on his truck, so that's, you know, that's a tough pill to swallow right there, where most of your profits go right into repairing your truck. So, you know, we'll get into some of that during this video too, about, you know, because I get a lot of comments from you guys about, you know, I have a newer truck, but to me it's kind of a peace of mind because I have warranty and I know that it's gonna, you know, continue to go, although I am racking up the miles on this thing. So there's that. But then there's also the fact that you could go buy something older that you could potentially have problems with. Anyways, I'm getting way off track here. I kind of want to lay out the summary of what we're doing this week. So this week, I have got to go do whatever Classic Transport needs me to do to get back to being current so I can pull some trailers. I'm hoping to get that done on Tuesday morning. Then Tuesday afternoon, I'm available to do whatever they need. So I told the dispatchers last week, I'm willing to take all the short loads that you've got, the ones that nobody else wants to take. And the reason that they don't want to take them is because they're not big paying loads. They all pay the same mileage-wise, but you've got to find a balance of the miles that you need to get in order to make good money. So if you're driving all the way out to California, you're making huge money because it's the most mileage, and you don't have to, you know, pay the fees to the transporters who bring the RVs to Classic Transport or to whatever company you work for. So the longer hauls that you can take and more miles you can get, you're going to make more money. So people don't want to take these short loads, you know, 100-mile loads, 150-mile loads, because they just don't pay very much. But me, I am willing to do it. One, I need to get back into it. I need to remember how to hitch a trailer up, and I need to remember where all my tools are, and I need to remember, you know, just how to do it. And, you know, so I feel like it's perfect for me. So Tuesday, I can take some short loads. Well, one for sure. So Tuesday, I will get done whatever they need to get done. I'll take a load. Wednesday, I hope to do the same thing. Take another short load. And then Thursday, I need to be in Cincinnati for my announcing gig. So they told me that, you know, they got plenty going to Ohio, so I can pick a trailer up, take it to Ohio, go do my announcing thing, and I'll be in Cincinnati doing that through the weekend. And then Monday, my plan is to come back to Goshen, pick a trailer up, and then start doing some longer stuff. Whether that's, if they have one going to Texas, I may just do that. I may do another short one or two, or a medium one, come back, take one to Texas. But I want to get home by the weekend. So I'm going to be out for 2 weeks this time. But it's not really a 2 week of just pulling RVs. So, you know, it's going to be, most of it will be, but there will be that weekend that I'm in Cincinnati doing the announcement job that I have with Live RC, doing some RC car racing, which I'm going to get some footage of and include it in this video. So stay tuned for that. It's super cool, and you know, I really enjoy doing that. It's a lot of fun. So anyways, going to put some of that in this video, but we're going to focus on, can we still make money with this? And they have raised the rates too. So now they are paying more money per mile to the drivers who are doing the towaway thing. So that's great. They increased it by like 10 cents a mile. But that adds up. Not on the shorter ones. You know, when you're doing like 100 miles, you know, you're not really increasing it much. But when you're doing 1,000 miles, that's an extra $100. So that's good news. Especially for me, because, you know, I ain't sleeping in the back of the truck this time. I am just going to stay in hotels for this next 2 weeks. I actually took my bed out, and, you know, because I needed to transport my kids around. So we're gonna try to find some bargain hotels and stay in some shady places if we need to, but that's okay. It's cool. I want to save the money and just stay in some cheaper places. Now, I know I could stay in the truck. I get it. I've done it. We've done it in the past. We did it when it was freezing freaking cold outside, and I just could not stay warm no matter what we were doing. So, you know, I brought the generator along with a small space heater. And, you know, I was asking you guys all these questions, and I got a ton of feedback on that too, about diesel heaters and electric heaters, just run the truck, you know, all these things. But I mean, honestly, guys, like, when you can get a Super 8 hotel for 40 bucks a night, it's a no-brainer to me. I'm going to spend the 40 bucks. I'm going to get a bed that I can stretch out in. I'm going to get a shower that's hot, and I'm going to hit the road in the morning. So, you know, there's something to be said about that too. Spend the 40 bucks, be somewhat comfortable. Now, granted, you are in a $40 motel versus, you know, whatever. But that $40 motel, I guarantee almost, it definitely beats the back seat of a truck. Whether you got a mattress back there, you got the whole setup, whatever, it's going to beat the back seat of the truck. And for me, you know, I can't stretch out. I can't, it's cold or it's hot, and I don't want to run the truck, and it's just, this week, or for the next 2 weeks, we're staying in hotels. And we're going to try to find some bargain places, and I'll share what I have found so far about doing that along the way. So that's what we're doing. It's Sunday. We are headed to Goshen. We are going to get there tomorrow. I really wanted to try to get there like in the morning, in the afternoon, but I just don't see it happening. I mean, I'm sitting in Austin right now, and I'm going 10 miles an hour, just stuck in traffic, and this sucks. So I'm not going to get to Goshen probably till tomorrow night, and whatever Classic Transport needs me to do in order to get current won't be open, so I'll have to get it done Tuesday morning. But I really was hoping to get it done. I was hoping that I could get there tomorrow afternoon, but there's just no way. I'm going to try to make it to West Memphis, Arkansas, because they have one of these cheap hotels that I was just referring to, you know, 40 bucks for a hotel there. I've stayed there in the past, and the hotel's just fine. It's not bad. It's usually, West Memphis, Arkansas is kind of like my halfway point between San Antonio and Goshen. So I'll stop there a lot, actually. They have some truck stops there. I've stayed in the truck there. That's usually what I was doing before, is I would drive to West Memphis, stay at the Flying J, sleep in the back of the truck, get up in the morning, use a shower credit, take a shower at the Flying J, and then press on. And then once I had a trailer, or if I was going somewhere else, then I would get a motel. But this time we're just doing motels. So I've stayed at West Memphis, and that's what we're gonna do. I don't think I'm gonna make it there by tomorrow afternoon. One, I lose an hour going from Central Time to Eastern Time. So that I've got that going against me. And two, I'm not gonna get to West Memphis till late this evening, you know, probably 10 p.m. And then I still have another 8 or 10 hour drive ahead of me to get to Indiana. So in order to do that, I'd have to leave at like 5 in the morning. Hopefully there's no traffic, just to get there by probably 4 in the afternoon. I just don't see it working out, but we'll see. So I'm going to try to schedule for whatever they need me to do Tuesday morning, and then I can hit the ground running with some trailers and do whatever they need. So stay tuned, because I'm going to document every single one. I'm going to document every single mile. I'm going to document every single penny that we spend, and we'll add it up at the end and see how much money we make. You know how we do it. All right. We got our first trailer, and I'll tell you the story on our way up to Michigan, but that's where we're headed. We are headed to Muskegon, Michigan, and we have a 16-foot travel trailer. But this isn't any ordinary travel trailer. This is a Timberwolf mini loft. Look at this thing. It is crazy looking, right? So it's got a GVWR of 11,240 pounds. I couldn't get my weight distribution bars on there because they have the breakaway, the emergency breakaway cable mounted right here, and this is right where my saddle would go, so I can't get it on there. We got about 140 miles, so we'll just keep it slow and steady and we should be able to do it. I mean, I got the airbags pumped up in the truck, so I think we're well equipped to pull this thing. But this is cool, I mean, but it's super tall. I think it's 13 feet 4 inches tall. It's got a little patio on the back here. And then up above there in the top is like a loft thing, I guess. I don't know. I haven't been in it, so I don't know. But this is it. I'm concerned with how it's going to tow, since it's just so tall and it's heavy. And then the front end of it is just flat. So definitely not the most aerodynamic thing, and I'm probably going to get terrible fuel mileage. But it is what it is. 140 miles. So anyway, we're going to head up there, and I'll get you guys there when we get there. We are headed to, where are we going? Muskegon, Michigan, which is about 145-ish miles or so. We picked up a Forest River Timberwolf mini loft or something like that. This thing's pretty cool looking. I can't wait to get inside of it, and I'm gonna try to get inside of it at the dealer and see how it goes, or see what it looks like inside. I mean, it looks pretty cool. The thing that sucks about it is it's so tall. It's 13 feet 4 inches tall. I mean, I'm going 55 miles an hour, and you can just feel that it's like a sail back there. I kind of voiced my concern there at Classic Transport about towing it, because it's going to get terrible fuel mileage. Right now I'm getting about 5 miles of the gallon, is what my truck says, going 55 miles an hour. It's not windy, nothing like that. So far it's been easy to tow. Now granted, I've only been on the road for like 2 miles. Maybe more than that, 5 miles, something like that. So it's not too bad. I should be able to get there around 2-ish or so Eastern time and drop off. And then my plan is to, as soon as I get there, call Classic Transport, book another one for tomorrow, and then get that short run. They said they're going to look for something close to Cincinnati for me to get to on Thursday. But man, I'm excited to be back in this. It's this job, just the freedom that you get from it is freaking incredible. Because, you know, I go in there and say, you know, this is what I want to do, and I don't really have anything that I need to do, or that where I need to go. So I'm just kind of, you know, hey, I'll take whatever you got. Give me something that's short mileage, that's been sitting on the lot for a while, that you are trying to move. And, you know, because other drivers don't want to pull this, because they're not going to make much money. 140 miles, I'm looking at like a $250 paycheck. It's going to cost me probably at least $100 in fuel to get there, because this thing is just terrible on fuel mileage. So, you know, and then you think about, you got the $30 service fee that they charge to the people who go and pick up the trailers from the manufacturers and drop them off. But they told me that they're going to work with me and see if they can get me a little extra, because they know that this isn't a very good load to pull to make money with. And that's okay. I mean, I do want to make money, but my goal was to just kind of get back into it. I've been out for a couple of months, and I wanted to just get my feet wet and jump back in. I didn't want to jump into the deep end right away, so this is a good way to do it. Okay, so talking more about this trailer, I could not hook up my weight distribution hitch because the emergency breakaway cable that you attach to your truck, and what the emergency breakaway cable does is, in the event that the trailer comes disconnected from the hitch or the truck, that emergency breakaway cable will activate the brakes on the trailer. That way, when it's not just gonna keep going down the road, it'll lock the brakes up and it'll stop, and, you know, not cause a ton of damage. I mean, it's gonna cause a ton of damage to the trailer, but You guys get what I'm saying. You want that thing to stop. You don't want it to just keep going. But anyway, right where they mounted the emergency breakaway cable activation switch is right where I would put my weight distribution hitch. This is the second time that this has happened to me where I couldn't put my weight distribution hitch on. That being said, I drive a Ram 1-ton truck. I have airbags. So this truck is very well equipped to handle the weight of this trailer. But the weight distribution hitch just kind of, you know, adds a little bit extra and takes a little bit of the weight off and just kind of helps out. And I wasn't able to do that. Now, I'm only got to go to 140 miles, so it is what it is, and the speed limits aren't going to be that high, and I'll keep my speed low anyway. But that part sucks that I can't hook that up. Why the manufacturer put that there, knowing that the consumer who's going to buy this thing is going to put a weight distribution hitch on it more than likely. So, you know, why do they do that? I don't know. But if I were to buy this trailer and take it home, that would definitely have to be relocated for me, for my purposes, because I want to use a weight distribution hitch. And I recommend everybody use a weight distribution hitch. The difference that you feel between towing with it just on the hitch itself versus putting the weight distribution bars on there is a huge difference. And I wasn't able to do that. So the truck is carrying all the weight, and it's not being distributed between the truck and the trailer, I guess. If I had to take it far, I would probably be more concerned, but 140 miles, now granted anything can happen, and you know, in mile number 1, but that's my biggest complaint so far with this, is I couldn't do that, and 2, it's gonna get terrible gas mileage because the front end of this thing is just flat. So it's like a barn door that I'm pulling down the road down at highway speeds. So, and there's that. Another cool thing, speaking of hitches, is I was contacted by a company called Gen Y Hitch. They make hitches that are torsion hitches. So they have a little piece of rubber in there, similar to what the axles are on trailers. It absorbs the shock going down the road. They want me to try out one of their weight distribution hitches, and I might take them up on it. I might give them a call. They're located here in Indiana, not too far from Goshen, maybe 30 minutes or so. So I may contact them and see if I can get one of those installed on my truck. Try that out with my weight distribution hitch and see how it goes. And I'm really interested to see if it improves the ride. Is it going to improve the ride very much? I don't know. We're driving around in a 1-ton truck. The ride's already terrible, but anything helps, right? So we'll see. I'm going to contact them and go from there and see if I can get one picked up. Maybe, maybe not. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited that they contacted me. Let me tell you another cool thing that I'm excited about. I walk in to Classic Transport this morning to go do all my paperwork and all that stuff, and they said, hey, did you know that you gave us 3 referrals? And that's from you guys on YouTube who've watched these videos and have contacted Classic Transport. And I mean, I couldn't be more humbled that you guys dropped my name for that. And that's freaking awesome, man. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope that you guys are out there thriving and making some money and making this thing happen. I knew of one guy. I didn't know there was 2 others. So yeah, they told me that 2 of them were tow away and 1 of them was drive away. And that's one thing that we haven't talked about, is the drive away part of this. So you don't necessarily have to own a 3/4 ton or a 1-ton diesel truck. They have a full lot of nothing but drive away RVs and box trucks and all kinds of stuff that you could drive from Indiana to wherever it's going. And they pay pretty good for that. I don't know the details on that, and I don't know how much money you can make and all that stuff. So, you know, I'm definitely not a good resource for that, but I do know that they offer it. So if you are interested in any type of RV transport, whether it's pulling it with your own truck or driving theirs, definitely look into it, because you can come up here and get to tour and see the country and do all kinds of cool stuff with the drive-away division as well. So make sure you're looking into that. But drive or tow away, you know, obviously is what I do. I know that you can make some good money doing this. Another cool thing about drive away is you don't put the miles on your own personal vehicle. So, you know, I'm just, every mile I go is on me, and I have to bear the expense of that and the depreciation on my truck and all the stuff. It's all on me. But the drive away, you're driving their stuff. So think about that if you're interested. Okay, well, that's all I got for this one. Like I said, we are going to deliver this today, head back to Goshen tonight, and try to get loaded up for the next one tomorrow, which hopefully is another short one that I can get out and back the same day, and then pick one up on Thursday and take it to Cincinnati, and then do my radio announcing thing, which I will give you a behind the scenes look at. And I'm super excited to be here. I love doing this, and I just get to sit here and listen to my audiobooks and my podcasts and catch up with everybody on my contact list in my phone, whether they want to talk to me or not. So this is awesome. All right, so I'll come back to you with how much we made, how much we spent, the whole thing. Stay tuned. All right, so we just dropped this thing off here. I wanted to do a quick walkthrough of the inside, so let's check it out. All right, so you come up, there'll be a ladder right here, obviously. And then going inside, it's got some couches, a chair, into the kitchen. Look at this stove. It's like almost residential type. Microwave. And then in the bathroom, toilet. Here's the shower, big shower. You can stand up in that. Here's the fridge on this side. Washer and dryer. And a dishwasher. And an ice maker. And then we come up over here. Oh, here's a TV. That's always important. TV. Come up the steps to the loft up here. So queen size bed. Got some cabinets over there, a little fireplace. How romantic. And then directly across is another loft. So yeah, pretty cool. This thing would be more for like parking somewhere. I wouldn't want to tow it, that's for sure. All right. Just dropped off in Michigan the mini loft, and let me tell you, that trailer was not fun to pull. It's like a box pulling down the road, but it just did not pull very well. So that trailer, I would want to buy and maybe set up on my land somewhere and just leave it there. I would not want to pull it as a recreational type of thing from RV park to RV park, because it wasn't fun. And I have a 1-ton truck, so I can only imagine if you were trying to pull that with a, 3/4 ton or, something that's not a dually, because it was definitely swaying around. And the weather was okay. It started to rain on my way to Michigan, and it got a little bit windy, like just a little bit, and it was blowing that thing all over the road. And I never went over 60 miles an hour. Matter of fact, I had to slow it down to the highway minimum of 55, just because I didn't feel good pulling that thing faster. But, it is what it is. Okay, so the moment you've all been waiting for, how much did we make? I got paid $258.44 to pull that trailer 142 miles, I think is what it was. I shut it down now. So $258.44 to pull it 142 miles. So the pay wasn't that bad. I mean, obviously it's not a big paycheck, but I didn't go very far. It only took me like 2.5 hours to get there. 3 hours, something like that. So I'm headed back to Goshen now. And I know that we've talked about this in prior videos, and this is one of those things where you really have to find a balance of what is going to pay well. I've towed trailers that paid, you know, in the $400 a day. So this one paying, you know, $258. It's not bad, but it's not great. But at the same time, I'm going to be able to get back to Goshen tonight and pick up my next load, which I've already been dispatched on. So, you know, I think you have to figure out what's going to work for you. However, if you don't do it like that, and you don't want to just do short runs, and you come up here and you just say, okay, well, give me the longest, most miles you can give me, you could definitely make more money than I'm making. Because that Texas load, you know, that's like, well, like I said, I have made $450 in one day in the past, so I know that it can be done. So right now I'm making $250. If I add another $200 onto there, you get where I'm going with this. The longer you stay out too, the longer runs you do, the more money you're gonna make, obviously, as well. So right now we're just kind of, you know, doing these short runs because I have this commitment in Cincinnati. If I didn't have that commitment and I could just say, okay, I'm gonna go and do this for 2 weeks, get as many loads as I can get in 2 weeks, you could definitely make more money. I promise you, the money is there. You just gotta figure out the best balance for you and what you wanna do. Now, obviously you can save money by sleeping in your truck. If you want to sleep in the back seat, you know, that'll save you $50 a day. You may be able to get cheaper hotels, I don't know. But how I do hotels is I get the window map and I stay at nothing but like Days Inn, Super 8s, that kind of thing. And they're all, I can usually find them for about $50 a night wherever I'm going. Sometimes they're 40, sometimes they're 60. So they average about $50. If you like better hotels, you could stay in better hotels. If you like the back seat of your truck, well, you could save $50 right there and stay in the back seat of your truck. I've tried it. It ain't for me. I just, you know, there's not enough space and it gets either hot or it's cold or whatever, and you just don't get very good rest. So to me, the 40, 50, 60 bucks, whatever I spend on the hotel is well worth it. However, that really eats into my profits. So if I'm out here for 10 days and I'm spending $50 a night, there goes $500 that I could be taking home. But, you know, I'm willing to spend the $500 not to sleep in the back seat of the truck. All right, so that's this load. We made $258.44. We drove 142 miles. Now we got to drive 142 miles back. So we're doing a little less than 300 miles today. So, you know, it is what it is. But I'll get back there in enough time to pick up my next load, and I'll let you guys know what that one is. All right. Okay, we got trailer number 2. This one is a 23-foot travel trailer, GVWR 6890. This one's going to Naperville, Illinois. So it's just a small travel trailer. Looks pretty cool though. Let's check it out. All right, so here it is. We got it all hooked up. The Rockwood Roo. Let's see, so we got one slide here. Coming around back. Oh, okay. Got like a bump out looking thing there, like a, maybe like a pop-up tent type of deal. I don't know. And here's the other side. Door. Got a little outdoor kitchen right there. Pretty cool. So yeah, this is gonna be a good one. So I got about 150 miles or so to get this one there. And yeah, so we're gonna try to get there tonight, obviously. Stay in a hotel somewhere around the dealership and then deliver it first thing in the morning and then head back to Goshen and see if we can get another one. tomorrow, so we'll see. All right, so it's like day 2 now here in Goshen, or pulling trailers anyway. And I just dropped off the second trailer. So as a recap, picked up yesterday, drove to Michigan, dropped off that little loft thing. Then last night I got to Goshen, picked up one that was going to Illinois, and I got to Illinois last night. I stayed about 30 minutes away from the dealership in a hotel, and now I am on my way back to Goshen to pick up my next load, which I've already been dispatched on. Okay, so how much did we get paid for that last load? I got paid $254.40 for that travel trailer to go to Illinois. And I'm sitting here trying to think how to explain this to you guys about how to make money. And trust me, I am no expert because I've only done this a few times. I haven't made a lot of money, but I believe that you can. And so I was doing some math. Here's what I've come up with. So basically, if you can do like a 1,200 mile run, which gets you to Texas, okay, and I chose Texas because that's where I'm from. If I can do that, that pays me about $2,400 or so. Now, out of that, I keep about $1,500, let's just say, round number, let's just say I keep $1,500. That's after hotel and fuel and the whole thing. So I have figured that after hotels and after fuel and after everything, driving to Texas and back, now this is 4 days, right? So 2 days to get there, 2 days to get back. So 2 days I'm loaded, 2 days I'm empty. I'm making about $310 a day. If I do that same math going to California, I did San Francisco, so it's about 3,800 miles. San Francisco would take me roughly 7 days to get there and back. Now you got to keep in mind, when you're driving empty, you can drive a lot faster than you can when you're loaded. And that extra 10 miles an hour faster, let's just say that you're driving from 70 to 60, that adds up. So I feel like I could get to California and back in 7 days, and I could get to Texas and back in 4 days. Anyway, the math I came up with for California runs is I'd be making about $280 a day. So a difference of 30 bucks going from Texas versus California. But what plays an interesting factor is the shorter runs, the sub 200 mile runs, 150 miles. And I can use the last 2 that I did as an example. So the one I did yesterday, both of them pay me about 250 bucks. I did 140 miles yesterday, did another 140 miles today. And that doesn't include round trips. It's 140 miles one way, 140 miles back. And to keep it round numbers, let's just say 300 miles total. So I did 300 miles yesterday, and then I did a 300-mile trip today. Although, if you just did 300 miles and got paid 250 bucks a day, then you take off probably $50 in fuel, another 50 or 70 for a hotel. So now you're down to like 130 bucks a day that you're making to deliver RVs short distance that are 150 miles. But with that being said, I drove to Michigan, which was 300 miles round trip, and then I was able to get all the way to my next destination last night, and I dropped off this morning, and now I'm on my way back to pick up my next load that goes to my next trip today. So it's hard to say exactly how much you could make doing this. I think that if you can keep it to roughly 300 miles or so, you could make decent money. So if you do a 300 mile out and a 300 mile back, You can do that in one day as long as you plan it out correctly and you get to the dealership at a decent time. You could do 600 miles in a day and not run out of hours on your clock. You might be pushing it, but I think that you can do it. I know that if I'm just driving one way to Texas, you know, I could do 600 miles in my 11-hour clock pretty easy. So with all that, I know I'm just kind of rambling here. I still don't know if these short runs are really worth it in the end. One, you don't get paid, you don't get big paychecks. It's the same mileage. But two, they're also taking out those service fees on every trip. Now, they didn't charge me yesterday because I took that big loft thing and it got terrible gas mileage, and I voiced my concern about it that, you know, hey, I don't know if I'm going to get very good gas mileage. And they said, don't worry about it. You know, we'll hook you up on that. But today I pulled that regular little travel trailer and they only charged me half of the normal fee. The normal fee is $30. They only charged me $15. But if you just do like one run that takes you all the way to San Francisco, you only get charged that fee one time. Whereas, you know, I'm getting charged this multiple times for these shorter runs. So is the mileage worth it? I don't know. It's so hard to say. But the quick math in my head from my public school education says that 1,200 miles is the magic number for me to make money, the most money anyway. 1,200 miles I can do in 4 days. I can drive 1,200 miles in 2 days, and I can drive back the 1,200 miles in the next 2 days. That 1,200 mile trip is going to pay me $2,400 or so, $2,300, something like that. So I'm bringing home, after fuel, hotel, all of it, I'm bringing home $310 at the end of the day. So I think that's where it's at. So if you can get trips that are 1,200 miles, I don't know. I think that's what I'm going to try to do, is just stick to 1,200 mile trips. Maybe if I did it 600 miles, so then you could do it in 2 days. You know, 600 miles, you'd be making $1,200 in 2 days. So, you know, $600 a day minus fuel and all that. So I don't know. But anyways, we are headed back to Goshen. We're going to get our next load. So I will see you then. We're back in Goshen. We made it back from Illinois, and we've got our next pickup. It's like 4:45 here in Goshen, 68 degrees, so it's a beautiful day to be pulling campers. And this time, we've got a 26-foot travel trailer, GVWR, 8,300 pounds, headed to Trenton, Ohio. Well, let's check this one out. All right, there it is, the Catalina Coachman. We are all hooked up here. This one's got like the auto leveling thing, and that jack was super slow to raise it and lower it. I don't know what's up with that, but anyways. Okay, we got a single slide here. Oh, the Legacy Edition. Means it's gotta be cool, right? Looks like it's got one AC up on the top. Hey, got a cool rack there where you can put coolers or whatever. It's pretty cool. There's the kitchen. This one is called the 263 BHSCK. So bunkhouse something kitchen. 2 doors on this one. So you can have your main entrance and then an entrance into the bedroom. And here's that auto leveling jack right here. So you see that a lot on fifth wheels, not travel trailers. Pretty cool feature. I wouldn't mind having that on my personal camper. I have that same jack on mine, but it doesn't have auto leveling. So, I mean, that's nice because you pull up to a campsite and push a button and it just automatically levels out for you. All right, so we're gonna go to Trenton, and then it's just a short drive for me to Cincinnati. So we're gonna see how far we can make it tonight, a couple hours. And then the RV dealer is about 30 minutes from where I need to be tomorrow for my radio announcing thing. So it's gonna be super cool. This will be the last trailer we deliver this week. We'll come back next week and pick up some more. So I'll let you know when we get there. Okay, so we're here in Trenton, Ohio. We are dropping off the Catalina, or Coachman Catalina Legacy Edition, whatever it is, the 263 BHSCK. So I thought I'd take you for a little spin inside, see what it's like. All right, here's the outside. We'll go here through this door. I haven't been in here yet, so it's a surprise to all of us. Okay, very nice. Come in, got a dinette, sofa. There's the TV, what everybody wants to know. Fridge, let's see if it's an RV fridge or not. Regular fridge, so that's cool. Not a very big one, but better than being an RV fridge. Little stove, microwave. This is the back side of the trailer. Here's the bunk. Got some storage underneath there. Check out the bathroom. All right, little vanity. And there's the toilet. Stand-up shower, nice, nice. Okay, let's see what the master bedroom looks like. Here's the master. Queen size bed, storage, and then there's that second entry. So anyway, this thing, pretty cool. Towed really well. So if you have a small family or something and you guys want to hit up some campgrounds for the weekend, perfect choice right here. Just dropped that trailer off, and that trailer towed really well. I mean, I didn't, the route from Goshen to Ohio wasn't really like a highway route. It kind of routed me through some back roads, so it was a lot of 55 miles an hour. But it towed really well, and my truck was getting around 12 or 13 miles to the gallon. So that was real good. So, yeah, I mean, that was a cool trailer, especially if you have, like I said, if you have like a small family, you can, you know, take that to RV parks, and it may be a stretch for a half ton, but you might be able to do it with a half ton. You just gotta, you know, take it slow and do your thing. All right, so here's the numbers. I got paid $330.24 for 192 miles. My deductions were $33.02 to go to my escrow account. So remember, I got to pay that $2,500, or I got to build up a $2,500 escrow account. So every run, every dollar I make, they take out 10% to go to that to go to that escrow account. So they took out $33. Then they took out $35 for the shuttle deduction, and that's for the shuttle drivers to bring the trailers from the manufacturers to the Classic Transport yard. Now, these fees, I don't know if other transport companies charge them or not. I would imagine that they do. Maybe some companies have them baked in and they pay you less in mileage. I really don't know. I don't know what other companies are paying, and I don't know how they work that kind of thing. It's all, I'm sure the companies all do different things, but I don't know. I just know what Classic does, and they charge $35 for a shuttle fee. So after my 2 deductions, $262.22 was deposited into my account after all was said and done. So not too bad, 262 bucks, and you know, we made 250 and another 260, so we're at 750 so far. And I mean, I got done real early, so I could have easily made it back to Goshen to pick up another trailer today and start to deliver it. So that's kind of where we're at. Now, here's the cool thing. I was dropping off at this dealership, and I didn't really know where to go. And there was another RV transporter guy there. So I walk up to him and I say, "Excuse me, sir, do you know where, do we just drop the trailers off anywhere?" And he's like, "Hey, you're Matt from YouTube." I said, "Yeah, it's me." And he's like, "Man, we watched your videos, my wife and I, and we love them, and we got into this, and I just started." He was with a different company, but he just started pulling RVs, and he watched my videos. And so I got to give a shout out to William and Cheryl Woods. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your support. And it's, you know, just, I've said it already in this video, but it's humbling when these type of experiences happen. But I'm glad that the content and the videos are helping people like William and Cheryl and everybody else, the people who signed up with Classic Transport and the people who signed up with all these transport companies in Indiana. And I hope that everybody's thriving and making money and figuring it out. And speaking of figuring it out, after I talked to William, there was another guy there from Classic Transport, and he's been doing it for a while. So, you know, him and I were chatting, and I asked him what his plan is and like how he makes money. And he said that he lives near Goshen. He said that he lives 30 minutes from the yard. And what he does is he gets up every day and picks a trailer up before 8 o'clock, and he takes it 200 miles and then returns and goes home that night. And he does that 3 or 4 times a week, and then he takes one long trailer or one long route somewhere, wherever, and, you know, he makes a couple $1,000s on that. So, you know, I mean, these 200-mile runs, he's making 250 bucks easily on them, probably spending 50 bucks in fuel. So, you know, you could do that every day, 200 miles, and make 1,000 bucks. And you could easily get to where you're going and back in just, I don't know, what, probably 6 hours or so. 200 miles there, 200 miles back, maybe 8 hours. He's got a real good thing going, especially if he does one long trip a week. I mean, I could go up there and do, you know, 5, and then do that every week, and then maybe once a month do a long one and earn some extra money. So, you know I've hammered this home many times, but it's all about finding the balance and what works for you on what you can do. The rate is the rate. The mileage is the mileage. The further you go, the more money you make, but then the longer it takes for you to come back to Indiana to pick up another trailer. Whereas if you do the short ones, it's just out and back real quick. But those fees that they charge, the $35 fee for the yard, man, I don't know. That's what would make me hesitate on the shorter runs, because if every day I'm getting charged a $35 fee, for a 200-mile load, man, I don't know, guys. I'm still trying to figure this out. I mean, we're like at least, I don't know, 15 trailers in, and I still don't know. I mean, I'm positive, that's for sure. I'm not negative. I'm not paying to do this. This isn't a hobby. But I am making money, but at the same time, I'm not getting rich. The cool thing is that I get to see a little bit of the country. I mean, I've never been to Michigan. I've never been to Indiana. Here I am now today in Ohio, and I get to do my radio announcing gig. My sister lives here, so I'm gonna get to hang out with her a little bit. So there are those benefits. I don't think that if you're trying to get rich in this industry, that's gonna happen unless you just lived in your truck, always were on the road. That's the only way I could see you doing it. Or the multi-haul thing. The multi-haul trailer, you know, is where you can, the multi-haul gig is where you can put multiple trailers on a flatbed and take 2 or more units to the same dealership. And that pays double, 40% more, or yeah, almost double. I don't know. Maybe that's where it's at. Maybe I should buy a used flatbed trailer and try it out. The problem is there's a bunch of funky rules with the DOT. You have a CDL, and do you have to get your IFTA sticker, and do you have to get apportion plates, and if the trailer's over a certain length, you know, you have to take the bed off of your truck, and all these weird rules that the DOT has. So I really need to look into it. I do know that when you are hauling a trailer like that, it doesn't go off your GVWR. So right now, if I pull a single trailer, my truck GVWR is 14,000 pounds, and the max limit that you can have on the road is 26,000 pounds without having to have a CDL. So which means that since my truck GVWR is 14,000 pounds, I can pull a trailer with a 12,000 pound GVWR. Now that does not mean that my truck and that trailer are going to weigh 26,000 pounds going across the scales. I mean, my truck probably weighs, fueled up, and all the tools and me, it probably weighs 9,500 pounds or so. And then if you get a gooseneck trailer that's got some aluminum, you're probably looking at 6,500, 7,000 pounds, you know. But when you're pulling just truck and, well, I take that back. My truck probably weighs 9,500 pounds, fully loaded with fuel and tools. And then a 12,000 pound GVWR trailer or fifth wheel probably weighs in the neighborhood of 8,000 or 9,000 pounds. And the reason that they do that is because the dry weight of the camper, they have to allow the consumer at the end of the day to fill it up with water, 50 gallons of water. So, that's what, 400 pounds. And then you got all their camping gear and their grill and their dog food and their clothes and their whatevers. So it can go up to 12,000 pounds. But when you get stopped by DOT on the side of the road, that's what they're going to go off of, is how much is your GVWR. Now, when you turn it into a truck with a gooseneck trailer or a step deck trailer or something like that, then it goes to how much weight is rolling across the scales at the scale house. So it's weird rules like that, right? If I have a gooseneck with 2 trailers on it, it depends on how much it weighs. It doesn't go off of my GVWR anymore. So now I'm looking at a 9,500 pound truck and a 6,000 or 7,000 pound gooseneck trailer. But as long as I'm under that 26,000 pound weight limit, I don't have to deal with the apportion plates and the IFTA and all that stuff. I can just keep running the way I'm running. Matter of fact, you don't even have to have a CDL for that. And you can keep doing it. So that may be what I do. I may try to I actually found a used gooseneck trailer that I can put a couple of campers on the back and do it. but I gotta figure out if the money's worth it. A used trailer is, well, this person wants $19,000 for it. You know, I mean, that would take a lot of miles to pay off 19 grand. Probably 6,000 or 7,000 loaded miles to pay that off, and that's a used trailer, so who knows what you're buying. There's any new tires, bearings, brakes, whatever, who knows. Okay, so now we are done with campers for this week. We're gonna go do the radio live RC announcing gig, and I'm going to get off doing that on Sunday, head back to Goshen, pick up another trailer, hopefully do a short run, and then maybe pick up a Texas load. That's my plan, get home by next weekend. So anyways, that's where we're at. Got to give another shout out to William and Cheryl Woods. I really appreciate you guys. Matter of fact, I appreciate all of you. Your support means the world to me, and it kind of validates all the time that it takes to put these videos together. Although they're not well produced, you know, it takes hours and hours and hours of editing and shooting and trying to come up with creative content. So I really appreciate the feedback that I've gotten from everybody, and it makes it worth it at the end of the day. So yes, thank you. But signing off for the weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday. So I'm here in Lebanon, Ohio at Tazcar Raceway, and we are going to do some RC racing, but right now we're on a rain delay, so we're gonna try to get going here soon. Let me show you what this track looks like. So this is an on-road track, and the cars are 8 scale and 10 scale nitro cars. Here's all the pits, all the drivers are pitting in. Let's see if we can find a car. Yeah, see, guys back there working. Yeah, duck racing. It's a 10 scale car. So anyways, yeah, we're gonna see if we can battle this rain delay and do some racing. I'm here with Scotty Ernst at the 8 scale on-road fuel nationals. Scotty, tell us about Lebanon, Ohio.
It's a brand new track that they built here recently. There's been a couple good tracks here in Ohio, but due to life and things like that, they've lost them. But the fairgrounds here built a really nice track, and it's we're running out of racetracks, so we appreciate every track we have in the country. And they agreed to host the Roar Nationals, so people are here from coast to coast. We're looking forward to it.
That's awesome. And tell us about the different classes that we'll see this weekend. I know that we have several.
Yeah, there's 1/8, and that's divided. I think they just have 2 classes: Masters for us young guys, and then Open Division where everybody can go. Then there's 10 scale, 200 millimeter nitro touring cars, and then I think they have a local class which is a 1/8 pan car class. I'm not sure exactly what the rules are for that, but yeah, it'd be fun. So there's I think we got about 100 entries this weekend, so it's cool. Everybody's asking me, they're surprised to see me not with a microphone in my hand but a radio, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell us a little bit what it's like on the other side, you know, actually being in the pits and having a week off to yourself to just enjoy this hobby that you love so much.
I do. I got into the 8 scale stuff a couple years ago. I started the Asian Nitro series with Infinity a couple years ago over in Asia, and I saw how awesome the cars were, and I just really fell in love with them. So right after the pandemic, I got me an Infinity car and I started running, and it's the most fun RC I've ever had. To take a car, shift it into second, go 60, 70 miles an hour is pretty epic. So it's a lot of fun. You're really working on your car, your hands get greasy. It's like you're working on a real race car, and it's just a blast.
Man, that's awesome. So you came from a couple 100 miles, you drove here, and you're staying here in Lebanon. Tell us some things that you may get into while you're here. You gonna try that Waffle House?
No, I don't think we're gonna have a Waffle House. I don't know. The weather's gonna dictate what we do here. We had to dodge some rain, but we were able to hopefully get things rolling today and tomorrow, and Saturday and Sunday look good. So we should have some good weather and hopefully get our qualifiers and mains in. But I don't think Waffle House is on my schedule this week.
Very cool. Well, Scotty Ernst here. Let's wish him luck this weekend in his the Masters class, the Young Men's class, here at the 8-Scale Fuel On-Road Nationals. We've made it back to Goshen, Indiana. It is Monday morning. It's like 6:45 in the morning, 61 degrees. It's beautiful outside here. And we got our next load. We are headed to Duncansville, Pennsylvania. And we've got a 29-foot travel trailer, Crossroads. Let's check it out. So this one, pretty easy to load. I mean, it had no problems. 29 feet, so good sized trailer here. We're all connected. We got like 400 and something miles to go. Let's see how much this one weighs. GVWR 9,650 pounds. So this one can get pretty heavy. This is definitely a 3/4 ton trailer for sure. I would not want to tow this with a 1/2 ton. I mean, I guess if I really needed to, but I would never find myself in that situation. But you never know. But this one's pretty cool. It's got one slide on the other side. Looks like some sort of kitchen here. This one is called the 299 QB, Quebec Bravo. I like it. Oh, 2 ACs up on the top there. Very nice. Truck ready to go. Okay, so yeah, like I said, we're here, Goshen, about to head out to Duncansville, Pennsylvania to deliver this, and then we're gonna head back and try to get something going home to Texas. We've been out here for not too long because I had to go do my radio announcing gig. We got here, you know, over the weekend and ready to pick up Monday morning. I gotta get there by, 3 p.m. today or so in order for them to take deliveries. Gotta get on the road. All right then. We are on our way to Duncansville, Pennsylvania. It's about 440 miles or so from Goshen. And we're towing this 29-foot travel trailer, and it tows really great. So I mean, that's really good news because I'm able to drive the speed limit and get there. The problem that is going to happen here is I am trying to pick up a load tomorrow to go to Texas. And normally, Texas is going to take me 2 days to get there and 2 full days. So the problem is that I'm going to Duncansville, Pennsylvania today, and I'm gonna get there late this afternoon, maybe 3:30, something like that, East Coast time. And then I got another 440 miles back to Goshen. And there's no way that I'm gonna get back there tonight. So I'm gonna have to stop somewhere here in probably Ohio, like the Trenton, Ohio area, somewhere around there. So that's gonna leave me with about 200 miles tomorrow morning to get back to Goshen. Now, all that time that I'm driving, whether I'm loaded or not, is against my clock. So I have my duty hours that I can drive. I can be on duty for 14 hours and I can drive for 11 of those 14 hours. And then I have to have a 10-hour break. Therefore, if I drive tonight to my 11-hour total limit, then there's no way I can make it back to Goshen. So I'll have to stop somewhere. And I don't want to stop too late, because the later I stop means the later I have to start tomorrow, because I have to have my 10-hour break. So what that's going to do is that's going to put me into Goshen tomorrow around lunchtime or so, and then I'll get on my way to Texas, but I'll only be able to do about 300 or 400 miles before I'm going to be out of time again. And so that's going to put me, you know, with another 1,000 miles to go. So there's another 2 days. So I'm not going to get back to Texas till Thursday. The good news is that I'll be back, you know, Thursday early versus getting in Wednesday late at night. But, you know, and it could work out good because I can't deliver a trailer Wednesday night anyways because it would be too late. So I don't know. But at least I'd get to go home. Or, you know, be in Texas and be closer to home. So this Pennsylvania one has really kind of messed up my schedule. So I guess that brings me to the point of you really got to plan these things out. So when I called Classic on Friday last week and said, hey, I'm just trying to get set up for something on Monday, they said, well, we got this one going to Pennsylvania. We really need to get it delivered. It's a priority unit for us. Can you help us out? And I said, sure, let me do it. I didn't even think about it. 440 miles is just too many miles to do in one day. If it's 300 or less, I can do that in one day. I can do 600 miles round trip, no problem. So I can get there and back. Now, granted, this pays more, but it forces me to be out till tomorrow, which means it's just going to delay me, which means I got to find a place to stay, all those things. Now, I would have to find a place to stay in Goshen, but I would already be there. And it would cost me one less day in the week. So I'm thinking that the miles that work for me are in intervals of 300. So either do 300 miles, I can get there and back in one day. Do 600 miles, I can get there and back in 2 days. Do 1,200 miles, I can get there and back in 4 days. So I think that the intervals of 300 are pretty good. The interval of 450 or 440, what I'm doing today, that's going to put me back there midday tomorrow, and all that's going to do is have that snowball effect of just continually putting me behind another day. But I really need to sit down before I, you know, stand firm on that and put some pen to paper to make sure that statement is accurate. But just the quick math in my head, 300 miles, intervals of 300, because I can do those in one day, makes sense to me. I can get up in the morning, I can go do my delivery, and I can get back the same day. Or I can get up in the morning, do my delivery, and get back the next day. Whatever it is, it's all in 1 day intervals by 300 miles. And that's not to a science, obviously. Obviously, you can run into traffic, you can run into construction, or whatever. Or maybe you can, you know, just have smooth sailing the whole way there, and you get back early. So, I mean, but then who cares about that? Like, I would love to get back early every day instead of, you know, constantly pushing the time and having to get up real early and then stay out real late or whatever the case may be. I just kind of want it to be a smooth, relaxing trip, and I'm not pushing it real hard to make it somewhere on time, and I'm not trying to push it real hard to get to the RV dealership before they close or whatever the case may be. I would rather just have it run smoothly, and I'm finding that these intervals of 300 work well for me. 150 miles, you know, something like that. Anything that can add up to 300 miles. 150 miles, I can get there and back and then pick up another trailer the same day. 300 miles, I can get there and back and then be ready for the next morning. So I think, you know, the 300 mile thing is a solid plan for me. And you know, if I did a 600-mile trip, that'd be a 2-day thing. I'd only have to pay the fee, the $30 or the $35 fee for the drivers to go get the shuttle fee. I don't have to pay that once. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking 300 miles is where it's at. So my weekend, I did the radio announcing thing. We went to a place in Lebanon, Ohio, did some RC car racing, and it was a lot of fun. It was a hot weekend. We got rained out one day because it was an outdoor thing, and then the next day we started late because of weather. So, you know, we had to cancel a little bit of the racing, and then it ended on Sunday. And it ended up being a beautiful day. The weather was really nice, and, you know, we made it happen. So it was a lot of fun. And then I got back and was ready to go to pick up this trailer. Picked it up early this morning, and that's what we're doing. And I'm trying to get back home soon. So, you know, that's that. One thing that I've been thinking about a lot, too, while I'm out on this trip is buying a flatbed trailer. Because, you know, multi-haul, you make more money for sure. The problem with multi-haul is a lot of the companies that you will work for won't allow you to have a gooseneck multi-haul. And the reason for that is they want you to have a step deck. And for those that don't know what a step deck is like a big long trailer that sits on the back of your truck. Well, so does a gooseneck, but the trailer itself, the part where you can put cargo, sits all the way on the back of your truck. And you can't have a step deck if you have a bed on your truck. You know, a bed that you're going to put tools and cargo in. If you went to Home Depot and picked up a piece of plywood, whatever, I'm talking you got to take that off and have no bed on the back of your truck in order to have a step deck trailer. I have a bed on my truck, so the only thing I can do is a gooseneck. And a lot of these companies won't allow you to have a gooseneck. But Classic Transport will allow you to have a gooseneck. The reason they don't want you to have a gooseneck is because the step deck trailers are longer and you can fit more trailers on them. So they're going to pay you the same amount no matter what. Multi-haul is just paid more money, but it doesn't matter if you've got 2, 3, or 10 trailers or how much weight you've got on it. They just pay you the flat rate for it. But Classic will allow you to have a gooseneck trailer. So I've really been considering this. The problem is they're like 40 grand for a new trailer, and I just can't afford $40,000. Nor do I want to make that big of an investment on a trailer that really is only good to move RVs, cars, that kind of thing. These trailers are only good to move those things because they have, you know, ramps that where the wheels go, and there's nothing in the middle. So you couldn't put cargo on it or something like that. It's just designed to move cars, trailers, RV or campers, that kind of thing. But you can use it for all that stuff. And the cool thing about Classic is they would help me on the backhaul if I own my own trailer. And what I mean by backhaul is they will help me find cargo coming from Texas or wherever I deliver to. They will help me find cargo coming from Texas back to Indiana to help absorb some of the extra fuel costs that I will have to pay for by pulling a trailer. It will offset that. Cars don't pay very much. I mean, cars pay maybe a quarter of what RVs pay, maybe at the most. So you're not making much money, but it does help to just cover you to get there, which would be nice. If I could just cover my costs, I'd haul 2 cars up there on my trailer and drop them off and just be even. And that way when I get there, I'm not negative already. But then I pick up a couple of trailers, put them on my gooseneck trailer, and tow them wherever they need me to tow them. And it pays almost double to do that. So, you know, I'm going out to Pennsylvania right now, and this trip's going to pay me somewhere in the $750 range, $720, somewhere around there. And if I took a multi-haul trailer, I'd be over $1,000. So I'd go to the same destination, but just make more money. Now, there is a lot more work in it, because it's not just, you know, this trailer that I got now. I pulled up in front of it, put it on my hitch, and basically that was it. I mean, I did my hookup and did all the stuff that I needed to do for it, but in reality, it's not hard to hook up a trailer. Whereas if you had a multi-haul trailer where you're putting multiple campers on it, you pull up in front of the camper, you put a winch on the camper, you winch the camper up onto your trailer, you strap it down, then you put a winch on the next camper, you pull it up, you strap it down. So there's more work involved in it. And then when you get to the dealership, you got to get them off of there. So definitely more work. But the benefit of making almost double the price is worth it. Especially when you consider, you know, if it takes me 30 minutes, let's just say, to hook up a trailer, which it doesn't, it's a lot less than that. But let's just say it's 30 minutes, it would be probably an hour or so to put 2 trailers on, strap them down, make sure everything was good. Because you also save some steps too. You know, like this, I've got to hook up the emergency breakaway battery. I got to put my license plate on there, and I got to, you know, put the weight distribution hitch and all that stuff. Whereas if I had a gooseneck trailer that's always attached to my truck, well, I don't have to do any of that. I just pull the trailers on. So there's a few things, but definitely pulling one single trailer is a lot faster. Plus, if I'm pulling that gooseneck trailer, it's gonna slow you down. Definitely gonna cost you more fuel because you've got twice the weight. So there's some things to consider, but you're making more money. So I'm heavily considering that, but I've got to find a used trailer that I can get started with. And I don't want to spend a lot of money, and I got to find a good deal, because a lot of them that I've seen, people want way too much money for them for what they are. Some of them I've seen that are fair, the prices are fair, but they're a little out of my price range. I need to get something that's, you know, a little bit more used, I guess. Now, I know that I've preached about buying used trucks and stuff because you never know what you're getting, and I'm willing to take that risk on a trailer, because I can take that used trailer, I can go put new tires on it, I can put new bearings in the axles, and I can have it serviced. And there's a lot less potential of a trailer breaking down than your truck. So that's kind of where I want to start with it. I want to find a used trailer that I can afford, that somebody doesn't want too much money for, and try that. Now, will I find that? I don't know, probably not. So it's probably just a fantasy, if you will. But I think it would be cool. Now, I do know that some companies out there, some of the RV transport companies will lease trailers. They have them for lease, and they'll lease them for however much they lease them for. And you could contact them and get in touch with them and see if they will lease you a trailer. I don't know the terms. I don't know the specifics. I don't know if they pay you less money if you're leasing a trailer versus if you have your own and you bring your own. I have no idea about any of it. I don't know. So that would be on you to call the recruiter and see what they're offering. But at Classic Transport, they don't have any for lease that I know of. So I'm gonna have to buy my own, which is fine. If I can find one, I'm willing to invest some money in it. But yeah. So enough rambling for me for this one. We're headed to Duncansville, Pennsylvania. We're gonna be there in about 3.5 hours or so. We'll drop this one off. Maybe we can get a quick walk around of it, and then I gotta hit the road and book it back as far as I can to Goshen. Like I said, I'm going to be a couple hundred miles from there, but we'll see. Okay, we will catch up once I get my paycheck. Okay, this is what we got. We are headed to Cibolo, Texas, which is like 20 minutes from my house, so this is going to work out perfect. We have got a 20-foot travel trailer. It is GVWR 9820. So let's check this out. This is going to one of the Funtown dealerships. So I don't know if they have their own line of campers, but let's check this out. Here it is. It's the Fun Time by Crossroads. Now this name could just be completely coincidental. I really don't know. But you can see here we're all hooked up. It's got 2 slides. There's no way this travel trailer is 20 feet, but that's what it says. This is more like 30 feet, it looks like. 2 slides, 2 air conditioners, and with a GVWR of 9,000 plus pounds, it's got to be more than 20 feet, right? You would think, anyway. But this one looks like a nice unit. You can tell that on some, you know, they've got this type of outside where others have, you know, like, let's see, this one over here has got like a fiberglass side. So usually those are more expensive. They have better weather stuff, I guess. I don't know. 2 doors on this one. Here's your kitchen, probably right in there. This one, the model number on it is 320 SK, Sierra Kilo. It's got electric stabilizer jacks up under here. It's not an auto leveling one. They're just electric, which is nice, so you don't have to crank them up. So anyways, it's Tuesday, right around 11:45. So we're gonna drive as far as we can today. Remember, we gain an hour going to Texas, so that's good. So hopefully get back to Texas tomorrow night, late tomorrow night, and then deliver this Thursday morning sometime. So I'll just take it to my house, park it out in front of the house, and then deliver it to Funtown on Thursday. That's the plan anyway. Let's see, I got some stuff I want to talk to you guys about, and we'll get to that on the road, but I've got a couple interesting things that have developed while I was here in Goshen. So we'll find out. We'll see what we're gonna do. Okay, but gonna hit the road. We are on our way to Texas, going home. Been on the road for about, I don't know, 150, 200 miles, something like that. And it is so windy. It's blowing me all over the road. So I got to keep it slow here down the highway. So just kind of, cruising along. I don't know about this trailer. Here's the funny thing about the trailer is when they assigned it to me, they told me it was a 20-foot travel trailer. And I was like, sweet, this is going to be an easy drive home. And I show up today to this trailer, and it's every bit of 30 feet. It's a big trailer. Makes it interesting pulling it. Got to kind of, just take my time, keep it easy, especially with the wind. I mean, it's not that bad, but definitely don't want to go any faster. All right, so I still owe you guys numbers from yesterday. I got those numbers this morning when I got to Classic to pick up my load home. So I got paid $770.56, and that was to go to Duncansville, Pennsylvania. I also got paid $45 for tolls. I collected my receipts, submitted my receipts, and that's what I got paid. The bad part is I did not get paid for those tolls on the way back, so that was all on me going back. So, you know, but it wasn't as much. It was probably, I think I spent $18 or something for tolls on the way back. So out of that money, they also deducted the $35 shuttle fee, and then they also deducted $77 to go to my escrow. So that escrow account is just going to continue to build and climb until I get up to $2,500, which is what their escrow account is. And I'm sure that every company does that, not just Classic, but all across the board. And the reason they do that is so in case you have any damage claims or anything like that to any of their trailers, they have money already set aside for you to use, I guess, to pay for those damages. And things that you got to be careful with are, you know, rock chips or big damage items. I haven't had a single damage item yet, knock on wood, now that I say that, but you know, you just got to be careful and do your best. And then it's weird because sometimes when you go deliver trailers, some of the RV dealerships just kind of come out, look at it, and they're like, all right, yeah, you're good. And then others go over it with a fine-tooth comb. And a lot of the stuff that they find is damage on the inside, usually from when they were manufacturing the trailer. And they will get reimbursed from the manufacturer, obviously. All right, so some big news. Well, I wouldn't say big news, but news. I got offered a driver job, same thing I'm doing here with Classic, with a different company while I was there this weekend. They are based out of Indiana, Middlebury, Indiana, and they offered me a little bit more money to be a driver with them. And not a lot of money. We're talking 3 cents a mile here. So it's nothing significant. I mean, it's more money, sure, but it's not like, you know, a lot more. But some differences that they do is they have a load board, so you pick and choose the load board on an app, whatever you want. So there is no dispatcher. You don't call dispatch and get dispatched on a load, which I think is kind of cool. Like I would rather pick and choose my own loads than have to call a dispatcher and find out what they've got. You know, I always kind of feel like I'm bothering them every time I call, and sometimes I got to call a couple of times a day for whatever reason. And you know, it kind of sucks sometimes. I feel that way, but not on them, but just myself. I don't want to bother them. So I think a load board would be cool. Having an app, I can just go and choose what I want and where I want to go. But the biggest difference that they offer is they also do the multi-haul, but they lease trailers. So instead of me coming up with the money today, I could lease a trailer for a couple of months and see if it's really, you know, fits what I want to do, and then go from there. Buy a trailer or not. Obviously, you would not want to just continue to lease this thing because they are very expensive. The lease price is like $650 a month, and they just kind of take that out of your paycheck. The good news is I don't have to worry about the trailer. They pay for all the maintenance, they pay for all the stuff on it, and that's that. But the problem is you'll never own it. So it's kind of like paying rent. You know, you just keep paying rent to stay somewhere and you never own it, which isn't a bad thing. Because like I said, I mean, all the maintenance they cover. So I don't pay for any of it. If it needs new tires, they put new tires on it. If it needs this or that, the winch goes bad, whatever it is, the company covers that. I don't cover that. So that could be an option. They don't pay as much as Classic does for multi-haul. Matter of fact, they're like, 25 cents cheaper. They pay 25 cents less than Classic does for multi-haul, but they'll lease me a trailer, and I can start work today, and I don't have to go out and buy a $20,000, $35,000 trailer to go out and do it. I actually talked to the salespeople at the trailer manufacturer, and the trailers start out at about $28,000 for the base model, and then they go up from there. So to get one priced out that's got, like aluminum decking and a couple of toolboxes, a winch, all the stuff that you need, it's going to be around $35,000. But, you need all that stuff. Well, I would need all that stuff because I have a 1-ton truck, and my truck weighs probably 9,500 pounds or so when I put fuel and all that stuff in it. So I've got to be, somewhere under 16,000 pounds going across the scale with my truck and the trailer in order for me to haul 10,000 pounds worth of RVs. So I need the trailer to weigh somewhere around, 5,500, 6,000 pounds, which is going to be tough to do. But, that's where all the aluminum stuff comes into play, the aluminum decking and the aluminum whatever they put on there to reduce the weight down, because that's what I need. I need it to be, 16,000 pounds or less so I can put 10,000 pounds worth of cargo on it. But anyways, that's what we're doing. Gonna wrap this one up. I don't know what to do. Let me know what you guys think. Should I stay with Classic, or should I, try the other place? I really hate to leave Classic because, they are super cool and they're really nice to me, and they, they're always working with me doing what I need to do. But I really want to get into the multi-haul thing, and I just don't think I can get into that at Classic without going out and spending all the money on a trailer. So I'm not sure what to do here. I'm kind of, I don't know. I don't want to leave them. I feel like breaking up with my significant other or something. But, well, maybe not that drastic. But you get what I'm saying. I don't want to. It's tough. Plus, I don't know what it's like at the other company. But let me know what you guys think. Anyway, we're going to wrap this one up. We're headed to West Memphis, Arkansas, where we're going to stay the night and then continue our journey tomorrow. All right, here it is, the Crossroads Fun Time 320 SK. Looks like it's a 2-slide, double room type of thing, but let's check it out. And here it is. The person doing the delivery said this is the first time they've seen this unit. Let's check it out on the inside. 320 SK. Coming in the front door. All right, we come into a kitchen. The galley here, it's got like a love seat, a dinette, and then here's the kitchen. L-shaped. That's where the TV would go if it had one. Overhead storage. Stove. Fridge. Bathroom here. Toilet. Big shower. Well, tall shower anyway. Then there's a door there that probably leads to this room back here. Oh, this looks like the master. It's a slide out for the master. Okay. A lot of storage space. Here's the second entry door, and there's that door to the bathroom. And then over the bed, there's some cabinets. Let's check out what's in the front. Ooh, the bunk. This is cool. 2 bunks, a little step up, storage. These bunks are deep. Probably a little over a full, or maybe a full. Very cool. All right, so the Crossroads Funtime 320 SK looks like a good one. It was heavy, so you're definitely gonna have to have a 3/4 ton for this. I mean, this is, it didn't get very good fuel mileage on the way here, but then again, I was going 65, 70 miles an hour, so you could definitely slow it down. Last load dropped off. We're here in Cibolo, Texas, and we dropped off that 29-foot travel trailer. And that thing was cool. Like, I got to walk through it and check it out. It's got a couple of rooms, and the thing I liked about it was the master bedroom was in the back, and then the bunks were in the front. So that was actually kind of a cool layout on that trailer, if that's what you dig. The thing I did not like about it was, for whatever reason, that trailer was heavy. It just felt heavy. It towed okay. It didn't sway around, and on my way, day number 1, on my way to Texas, I was in Illinois and Missouri, and man, it was so windy. Like, it was just a ridiculous amount of wind, and you know, it was tough to tow, and I got terrible fuel mileage. I was in the 6-7 mile to the gallon territory, and it was an expensive trailer to tow down here. So I don't know if I'd do another one of those again. I don't know what it was about it that caused me to get such poor fuel mileage, but it is what it is. I met another guy here from Indiana Transport, and he was delivering a 5th wheel, and he recognized me as well from YouTube. So again, I apologize, my YouTube fans. I'm working on it. We're gonna get some videos out. But, you know, I was asking him about Indiana Transport, and he really likes having the load board. He said that he's able to go on there and pick and choose what loads he wants versus where I have to call into a dispatch. So, you know, I don't know. I'm kind of a tech guy, and I like tech and apps, and to me it would just be a lot easier to pick and choose off of a load board than it is to call and ask for dispatch. But is it really that big of a deal? I don't know. I don't know. That would be for you to figure out if that's a thing that you want. I mean, really, calling dispatch is not that big of a deal. You just pick up the phone and they answer, and you say, hey, I'd like to go to this destination, and then they tell you what they got, and then they assign you to a load. And, you know, another cool thing about having dispatch is they'll look out for you. So, you know, if they see something that they think that you might want, they will just, you know, they'll call you and ask if you want to be booked on it. So you're not going to get that from a load board. You're going to have to just refresh the page a bunch of times until you get to where you want to go. And, you know, I guess there's pros and cons to both. But that, to me, is the biggest difference. You know, plus Classic pays a little bit more than some of the others, and some of the others may pay more than Classic. So it just depends. You need to figure out what is important to you, call some of these places, and go from there. I can't recommend Classic more than I'm already doing. I mean, they're great people and a great company to work for, and they always are looking out for me. So, like I said, it's up to you to do your homework and call all these different companies and see what's available and what works for you. All right, so we're gonna wait for our settlement sheet, and then I'll give you guys the numbers. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday the 24th, and we are all done with our tour of like the Midwest-ish area, and it was a lot of fun. I had a ton of fun doing it, and I think that's the biggest thing that is about this job, and I mentioned this earlier. It's just the freedom that you get while doing RV transport, because I can do anything I want whenever I want, and that's just pretty much it. I mean, I pick and choose where I go, I pick and choose when I go, and I pick and choose what I haul. So that aspect of it, the job is awesome. Okay, so I got some big news, but first we got to get to the money. Here we go. A wrap up of the entire 7 days that we were on the road. I was on the road longer, obviously, but I had my radio announcing gig right in the middle of it, so I'm not counting that. I was on the road pulling trailers for 7 days. And here's what we made. At the end, we made $3,795 total. That's what we made. We spent $1,185.51 on fuel. So what I'm actually bringing home is $2,609.49. So that equals $372.78 a day. So not too bad, right? You know, there were some other things in there that I did not take into account for, and this would be up to you to decide what you want to do, like my hotels. So my hotels were on average of $50 a night. So let's just say I spent $350 on hotels. I had to eat food, all these things, right? That are, you may decide that you want to sleep in the back of your truck. You may decide that, you know, you want to take a cooler along and eat sandwiches and whatever, which I'm going to do on the next trip. But all these things could be different. So I'm only counting how much I made and my fuel. All the other things are on you. Like right now, I'm going to get my oil changed. And, you know, these oil changes are going to be on you. For my truck, it's about $220 to get an oil change. And, you know, so all these things you got to take into consideration. But I'm only giving you the numbers on how much I made and what I spent on fuel, and then the rest is up to you. All right, the big news. I have found a trailer, a 53-foot gooseneck trailer, that I am going to go and look at next week. This trailer is owned by an individual who has a bigger trailer. I'm not sure why they're getting rid of it, but he is selling it, and I'm gonna go take a look at it. So I have to go pick it up, which is in a different state, and then bring it back to Texas, get it inspected, get it registered, you know, all that stuff. And then I'll be ready to put it to work. Now, we have a lot to learn with flatbed, because you start pulling flatbed and multi-hauls, and now you have to be concerned with weight, because the max weight that your truck and trailer can weigh and all that is 26,000 pounds without having to have a CDL. Now, I do have a CDL, so I can pull things that are heavier, but if you go over that 26,000 pounds, not only do you have to have a CDL, but you also have to have your truck registered to pull that weight. So right now, you know, my truck is registered for just a regular truck, and I can pull regular stuff. But once I exceed that 26,000 pound mark, my registration changes, and I have to get apportion plates and IFTA and all this stuff that I really have no idea about. So we're gonna have to learn all of that. But right now, today, my plan is to get the oil changed, and then I'm going to take the truck and get it weighed on a CAT scale. Oh, and that reminds me, there was a slight miscalculation in my fuel numbers, because when I went to Ohio, I filled the truck up there, but I did not account for that mileage and that fuel that I used there. And then when I left there, I drove all the way back to Indiana. So there's that little part there between Ohio and Indiana that I did not take into account for fuel. So we're probably off on fuel numbers by 40 bucks, maybe 50 bucks, something like that, just depending on what that mileage was. It was like, I don't even remember. I think it was less than 200 miles and I was empty. So, even if I'm empty, I still give you guys the fuel numbers, but I forgot to reset my mileage and fill back up after I was done driving around in Ohio, because I didn't think that my Ohio miles and fuel was relevant to pulling RVs. All these numbers that I'm giving you is for me to drive from wherever I'm at to Indiana, pick up a trailer, drive it, only things associated with pulling RVs. So my numbers are going to be skewed by probably no more than 50 bucks. Then on top of that, I am going to get a new auxiliary fuel tank, and I did not fill up when I got home. I did not fill up my big tank because I wanted to leave it empty. Obviously, I'm gonna pull it out and put in a bigger one. Right now I've got a 50-gallon tank, and I'm gonna put in a 90-gallon tank. Especially if I'm gonna start doing the multi-haul thing with the flatbed trailer, I need as much fuel on board as I can possibly get. Only because, I get such a significant savings. I mean, sometimes I was paying like less than $3 a gallon on this trip when I use my corporate card. So Classic Transport gives me a corporate card, and if I use it at certain fuel pumps, it gives you a big discount. So they give me an app that I use to find cheap fuel, and I saved 70 cents. I paid like $2.98 a gallon at one point, and so that's what I do. Anyway, so my numbers that I've reported on this trip are going to be a little skewed for those two things. I did not top off the big tank when I got back. I did top off the regular tank, and I did not account for those miles between Ohio and back to Indiana. So take that for whatever it's worth to you. But again, this is just my process, my experience that I am documenting and sharing with you guys if you want to get into the industry and go from there. So yeah, we're gonna go get the oil changed. We're gonna go purchase a new fuel tank and buy a new trailer next week. So we've got another video that'll be coming as soon as I get that trailer, and we'll document all what is to be of a multi-haul driver and how much money we can make doing that. Maybe an interesting thing I can do is compare the numbers on what I would get paid if I was doing it single versus multi, although the fuel may be a little different pulling a multi-trailer versus, I don't know. It's going to be that would be difficult to figure out, but I can at least figure out the mileage. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video. Again, I apologize for leaving you guys hanging and not putting out a new video. I just met a guy yesterday when I was dropping off my last load here in Cibolo, Texas. He was from a different transport company, but he was like, "Hey, you look familiar. You that guy from YouTube?" So I apologize to everybody. I am going to try to work on getting more content and get them published. But until next time,